President Mahama aboard the former CDS under President Akufo-Addo, General Thomas Oppong-Peprah, so nkoye deputy ambassador. MPP for no di swasi papa no so no. Why will President Mahama make that appointment? I will tell you. Anyone deputy ambassador be kasa Mahama ne ade. So many two stories amount. Explosive, quite interesting research and it took me a bit of time, and research is nice. Usua de na enyama ni sisi suma sa nice. I mean say ma mo pe academic exercise and mo bo enjoy pen shaman some dey ba enjoy. I trust you enjoy this presentation from me. Why would Thomas Oppong-Peprah obi Akufo-Addo be no serious na say military ni nyina mo panin meaning obi ana president Ginidi na Akufo-Addo na ebefiri abem Mahama ba oyi na di no ma general a Japan ebe CDS. So why will he go back to Oppong-Peprah? So Oppong-Peprah enkoya ambassador a obesuma ndisi aban bibi ho menam no beche on the critical analysis. Make sure so be subscriber ma mo subscriber no click bell notification no me the video bi atuma ubehu na watimi ahwebi eno a analyst ne by say President Mahama abo 18 deputy ambassadors. 18 deputy ambassadors. Na na bi busam say Eugene ase yete no kre list na sa na tie de ben bebre. The first argument I want to make is that it's not the first time presidents be able deputy ambassadors, especially in the fourth Republican dispensation. A per course samay no me check samay Papa Akufo and I introduce you that narrative. Which are contemporary times about 25 years ago now. Yes, our narrative no. Canada ya General Thomas Oppong-Peprah ya dene kono. One ya dene ko President Mahama dene kono. President Akufo a deputy ambassador. US of our deputy ambassador. South Africa of our deputy ambassador. India and so fire be deputy ambassador. And no Thomas Oppong-Peprah Bendo Chemalo. No, so a communication officer, the word more BBC ni you and also Mahama some deputy ambassador with the United States. Yankoso Prof Mills one for deputy ambassador Mahama ebe far back phase 1. I think Horace or something like over far back. Akufo-Addo also be far about 7-8 of them. And Mahama about 18. Record Mahama the end in dorsal. That is a fact. Near the end dorsal. And for me, what just oppose with the 120-day promise or year no case will constitute the leanest government. Mamen can exactly no kind in a 120-day social contract, you know. Or say, na ye nema 24. 2 no say constitute the leanest and most efficient government under the Fourth Republic in the first 90 days. Permit checks. Apart from ambassador ni any country, you head of chancellery. Or no na administrative work anything. Nipa na wa ambassador no no more of coordinationary duty be our but me dey make here 18 edoso dodo. Me ma no. A dorsal do a bit unnecessary. A bit unnecessary. A dorsal do too much as a dorsal do. Pay promise no. Go good for the cry to be fairly fan size ministers near the one fat this number of ambassadors. And no cast over 10 ministers over 60. What is so? The ambassadors no so ka what swa kebeboa. Ibu okranki yenke kamum na enye yekonanse a wana na complain say rent e di tuo mo no ne bo no kosoro dodo. Say aden na yedi bi kan bam papa e wono benya hwe ho yie mame. But there's a backstory on General Thomas Oppong-Peprah, around military in 1986. Na no ahwe MPP for no wo Facebook a. Kwabia Kwabna Sante, Kofi Ofosun Kansa ni ade. In fact, won to me General Zuka almost na chrese Akufo the government here naked. Because why I say Akufo the chief security officer, CDS. No na Mahama so nko deputy ambassador to Canada. And John Akufo the ban here naked. Me throw Facebook post to be say I disagree. Now, before I give you a bit of a context, let me explain. General Thomas Oppong-Peprah, uyi a frifa, uyi a Akufo-Addo military leader, in contemporary, he is the first 4-star general. Ninta be before no, I am more emotional about this subject in the Akufo-Addo last State of the Nation address no promote 2 military officers be. One of the people promoted here from a 3-star general to a 4-star general, and General Thomas Oppong-Peprah. In fact, even in the US, for you to become a 4-star general, it's a big deal. So if someone from Ghana by a 4-star general, it's a sensitive position. And for Akufo-Addo, in the last State of the Nation, one of the last acts as president to promote him as the 4-star general tells you say how Akufo-Addo trusted him. Now, someone will ask, General Thomas Oppong-Peprah, when you can be a CDS, Chief of Defense Staff means that Army Commander or Army Nano, Armed Forces or Navy or BBR, Air Force BBR. Bumuna, Communina train the boom and penifone and your dormano. Any CDS, Chief of Defense Staff. Very sensitive position. See, every funny believe say, I don't know Mahama will track a B. Let me explain further. Mahama Baye, per the conventions of the military, obey General William Ejapon. Rank be no de nebekobia, nobody should be above the CDS. No other military officer should rank above him. It's meaning that Mahama Baye 1 PM 1 maintenance CDS no bo William Ejapon dino. Everybody are not what rank ahead of William Ejapon automatically retires in the army. And Mahama ne baby abiding your sanity, and that's the convention of the military. Me say Mahama and our president be able to so a CDS most from the rank back or can rank na ho. Omo de ka ho a obi o was rank ni bia no wo wanim bia automatically they go home. That is how the military is. That is that. And why will Mahama do that to him, which is not new, and later appoint him as a deputy ambassador? It be say na kind of conditions of service from the kind. But you see, there's always a contest. And your first time when it permit checks, you made it say General Thomas Oppong-Peprah no on your NPP ni. You say one million officers, and I say Mutaka Kabi, no more pay immigration officer don't do this Mutaka class almost stopping because that guy didn't qualify at the end. On your only army officers kasa. On your sankrofona, he uses politics. He doesn't use politics. He exudes proper military officer. Obunohu or your military officer will name near warrior and will rise it through all the ranks. So or a distinguished officer. And then point with your grand on obi a wokofi obeye mobrowa. That is the first thing I'm getting. Two, niameti yansone say when you look at our history, this is not the first time something like this is happening. Let me give you an example. 2000 Kofo Baye no and obo papa bi din so nkoy ambassador to Egypt. Mama nyine de mo be kai nye fra no Lieutenant General Ben Akafia. Then they see 2000 election there was an attempted coup. After the first round Akufo enya 48%, Prof News 44% no. In a book, Professor Jiman Bafodia Troy from the Ghanaian Odyssey, you can search the book and read it. Or highlighted the activities of Lieutenant General Akafia. Some people believe that time MPP taking lead, 48-44, no, and as a second round, no. Some military officers were impressing on Rawlings and declare state of emergency. Yes. So that was the plot. Now, meeting in Koso Bema camp, when you read the book, that was where General Akafia entered the room and told them, said, not under my watch as CDS, Ghana will return back to the dark days. Note, no, your CDS as at 99-2000, meaning that Rawlings said that in the back. And if you know that time, Rawlings, how powerful he was, how huge he was, the junior Jesus he was. No, CDS on penny. Rawlings but it was some soldiers. And sometimes some of these people do things to please their bosses. Their bosses may not necessarily be aware. I don't have the fact that Rawlings was aware of that. But they wanted to do that, frustrate the second round, so that there will be a declaration of state of emergency, so that the Rawlings will continue. It took General Akafia, and I'm not conjecturing, I'm saying that story is in the book called The Ghanaian Odyssey. It was written by Professor Bafaji Menbia. Or no more true book, The Life of Ike Champon. So that is the book. Find it and read. Very exciting things. And the Kofo Baye no ambassadors, no the General Akafia, a CDS under PNDC, NDC, Rawlings, Echo Egypt, 2001 as the ambassador. It's in Thomas Oppong-Peprah. It is not history. It is not novel. There may be a reason. And Makato said the reason is that Mahama has enormous respect for the man. He's not a politician. Just like a Akafia. So Rawlings didn't buy. Rawlings at 12 and compared to us why CDS. Possibly. But was it Debbie? It is unconstitutional. You are returning the country into a democracy in 1993. I will not allow you to do what you are doing. And he stopped it. And this is documented by a proper professor who knows what he's writing about in the Ghanaian Odyssey. So this is source to Professor Jimamba Fodia. My man, another example. IGP Akufo-Addo na manfo we brain no kre. He confirmed it. A bra oko attachia committee no. Tamana Mills, Prof Mills, the late. Aye vice president no. Ni Eddie Camp, the case obi Eddie Camp, a president ni chocho mucho. Papa no di Mahama no. Baby a onu nim. The Mahama aye lie bi onu nim. Baby onu na ekọ. He was the aide de camp under Akufo-Addo. He was made the IGP. Competence. So me who be a logic ni free ba mason NDC breso ntia madwen nya dwuma 70 so man PP breso. What are we? And I say you say I control it to be friends of Thomas Oppong-Peprah on rejected appointments, and I don't get it. He's competent enough to don't say make us a flip side. Me disappoint when you boy do so do. But in case Mahama be maintain no man so mon koye dwuma, right? And he had to explain to the Ghanaian people why will people fancy 6 over 0.18 now. That doesn't take away their competence and experience. And it's not a novelty. It's fact. Mama, another fact. Current IGP, Christian Totoyonu, in July, just around July, September, Akufo-Addo check as deputy IGP. Mahama by, where the IGP? Yes. So it is not a novelty. It's not as if it is something new. It just tells you, say, when the politicians know competence, they see it. When they see competence, they see. When they know competence, they actually know say or your papa. So, in the minds of President John Dramani Mahama, I don't think so. But Papa could do on any consorting. But what catch them? Say Papa say na person me yo, na Papa ti ase. And them not Oppong-Peprah no ban. No be one any mum na so retirement. So it's not new. Tinye say bia na buo fu ne pa no. That's how the military is. That's how the convention. Me they will be educating. I was like, oh wow, na minim. Into the brigadier general. Obi owo wanim bia the post no brigadier general bia be CDS obi ko fie. That is it. Again, mama another example nam the see. There's another example. General Akwa. President Mahama. No chief of army staff. General Akwa Obedakwa. No, yes, CD ADC to Kufo. Listen. Kufo ADC. Near friend Akwa. Mahama by and obey no chief of army staff. Akufo-Addo obey ni CDS. Or no free wo emo Oppong-Peprah by no. You think our politicians are not smart? They know. He may have served as Kufuor's ADC, but they know he's competent. Mahama made him the chief of army staff. Akufo-Addo made him CDS. That man, ya appointing, won't mean Kasson rejected position because Akufo-Addo and Akufo didn't buy. That would be myopic thinking. That would be narrow thinking. He has served this country diligently. So me only into Mudinatem. I don't know why they are attacking him. It's not fair. He's a distinguished military officer. So this is contest. 18 years, Edosun. And President Mahama, that's part of your social contract. You said those ministers yam pass I agree. But 18 ambassadors. I as one head of chancellor. That's what community or chief director. Be a minister just for policy direction. It just why are we adding 18 people more to it? I feel say it is a duplication of role because the explanation is that or dependent on any idea. It is too much of a duplication of process. And I believe say we need to cut some of these things. Papa, people may not be happy, but that's the truth. A dozen 18 countries Nibia, a dozen. Ebia countries so Canada is big country. USA is big. Czech Republic there. Here deputy ambassador. Papa Netherlands. Croquet where be here. Italy. Here. Here Saudi Arabia. Papa here sir. Papa te adie hwena to soma me. Hwena to soma me ntiem krofo no. Famfule se de o mema ansasi fam. Nyema be yama to no the Oppong-Peprah because me be defend, but that's a fact. That's why on the critical now we don't do opinions. Say opinion make catch what is fact is fact. It's papa a 100 year per wow two na catch the lean government no. When you lean government a doso do teso 18 ambassador there aye papa te so mame. I know say we enjoy submission or enjoy a subscribe mame. na click bell notification the video bi etuma obehu na watimi ahwe bi we are no akọ app any Play Store wanna pan rate wo ko download it na fa di ujuma eno ene beboa wo efrem you join us to me here Ghana so here ti shon so ye ma bye bye.